If there's one thing that separates Sonic from any other gaming series, it's gotta be the final bosses. Specifically the supersonic ones. These bosses tend to be the highlight of most of the games, so I thought, why not rank all these bosses on a tier list to tell you which ones I love and which ones I don't really love as much. Before starting, as always, please be sure to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Now then, let's get right into it. So before we begin, as always, let's set up some rules on how I'll be ranking these bosses. Number 1, I will be counting any supersonic boss fights. This will include all the Titan bosses from Sonic Frontiers. Number 2, if the final boss has a super form, whether that be Super Shadow or even Doom Wings, I'll include it on this list. And number 3, if you disagree with any of these, it's just my opinion, so don't take it too seriously. Let's begin. So the first supersonic boss at number 21 on this list is the Time Eater. You'll fight this boss with both classic Sonic and modern Sonic, both in their super forms. You've probably heard it many times, but I just think this boss is pretty boring. The only thing you do is hold boost until you get a hit in on the Time Eater. It's not bad per se, it's just mid compared to the other final bosses on this list. The music isn't much, but what really makes this fight annoying is the dialogue. The next supersonic boss fight at number 20 is Moon Zone from Sonic Advance. If you ask me, I think this boss is just meh. The fact that it's a supersonic boss fight does make it better, but it's just over pretty fast and I don't think it's worth the effort of getting all the Chaos Emeralds. That's just my opinion though. Don't feel bad if you like this boss. I just never really have. B tier. Next at number 19 is the Egg Salamander from Sonic Rush. Sonic and Blaze transform into Supersonic and Burning Blaze in order to save the world from Eggman and his dimensional counterpart. Now I know a lot of people may like this final boss, but I've never really enjoyed it if I'm being honest. Playing as Burning Blaze is pretty fun, as she can shoot fireballs, which makes her phases pretty fun and easy, but playing as Supersonic here is pretty tedious if you ask me. You have to hit these orbs that Eggman shoots at you back at him, so you can't even attack him directly. Not to mention the orbs hover around you, so you'll have to time your attacks as well, which can also be kind of annoying. I still think this fight is better than some supersonic bosses, but it still has some issues. Egg Salamander is a B tier for me. Next up is True Area 53 from Sonic Advance 2 at our 18th spot. This one's okay in my opinion. It's pretty similar to the final boss in Rush. You still have to hit stuff at Eggman's mech, although this time Eggman shoots 3 missiles at you, so it's a lot easier to hit them. There is an annoying thing that can happen where Eggman will try to freeze you, which will result in you losing a bunch of rings. The music is pretty forgettable too, if I'm being honest. It's not a bad fight, but definitely not worth all that effort just to get the Chaos Emeralds. I do think the cutscene at the end where Sonic saves Vanilla is pretty cool. B tier it is. Now we're moving on from the B tier to the A tier, bosses that I think are great and do an awesome job at capturing the intensity and thematics of the fights. Starting off this tier at number 17 is Doomsday Zone from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. If you collected either the Chaos Emeralds or the Super Emeralds in the special stages, you'll unlock the secret final boss in the stage, Doomsday Zone. This is probably my favorite boss in all of the classic games, besides Mania of course. It has awesome music, a pretty solid boss design, and just an epic finale in general. This fight you'll chase after Eggman with either Supersonic or Hypersonic. The first phase has you dodging asteroids and missiles to catch up to Eggman. Once you do catch up to him, he'll start shooting more missiles at you. These missiles can be guided to the machine's nose to damage it. Once you get enough hits, Eggman will try to escape one last time, so now you'll have to ram into his mech a few times, and then you'll win. Doomsday Zone is a great final boss fight with awesome music and a great way to end off the classic games. A tier. Next at number 16 is Non-Aggression from Sonic Advance 3. This one is easily my favorite of the Advanced final bosses, and this is the only time ever where you get to team up with Eggman and play as him during the final boss. The fight itself is pretty well designed too. You have to use Eggman to open the weak spot on Gemerald so Supersonic can hit it. The music is a pretty good hint back to Sonic Battle as well. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't have much else to say about this boss. It's a pretty fun and cool final boss. A tier. Next in the number 16 spot is Devil Doom from Shadow the Hedgehog. I imagine that not many people got to this final boss simply because you have to beat the game 10 times in order to get to it, which wasn't actually too bad if you ask me. I actually thought it was pretty fun. But regardless, it does take a while to do, so that does drag it down a bit. But the fight itself is pretty cool. You'll play as Super Shadow and you'll fight Black Doom in his final form, Devil Doom. You can use different abilities such as Chaos Spear, Chaos Control, and I think Chaos Blast as well. I might be wrong about that. The dialogue of Sonic and his friends is pretty good as well. Anytime there's dialogue like this, it just adds so much more to the final boss.
Shadow, can you hear me? This might be the last chance I have to speak to you, so everyone thought you died during that horrible incident. But I rescued you with one of my robots. You lost your memory, that's all. You really are the ultimate life form my grandfather created.
Devil Doom is another A tier in my opinion. It's really good. Number 15 on this list and closing off the A tier is Perfect Dark Gaia from Sonic Unleashed, the HD version. This fight does have 2 phases, but for this list I'll only be talking about the second phase, where Sonic transforms into Super Sonic to take down Dark Gaia with the help of Chip. To be honest, I think I prefer the Wii version of this boss more than the HD version. Now overall, I think the HD version is miles better than the Wii version, but I think one thing that this does worse is the final boss. Don't get me wrong, this is a great finale with one of my favorite final boss themes in the series, but the boss itself, all you do is really boost and hit some tentacle thingies, do some QTEs, and then it's over. It's a little too easy, but it's still a great final boss regardless. A tier. We are now moving on from the A tier to the S tier, bosses that are awesome and have a ton of qualities that make them great. At the 14th spot on this list is the Egg Wizard from Sonic Rush Adventure. This might come as a surprise to a lot of people that I have this here, but this boss, in my opinion, improves everything upon the original Rush's final boss. You once again play as Super Sonic and Burning Blaze, but this time you can switch to any of them instantly. Blaze still has her fireball that she shoots, which is really cool, and Sonic gets a new move where he can protect himself and Blaze from any attack that the Egg Wizard throws at him. This move is pretty similar to the Insta-Shield from Sonic 3. Thank goodness there aren't any orbs anymore. The music in my opinion is better, the environment is a lot cooler, and it's just a much better final boss than the first games if I'm being honest. S tier it is. At number 13 we have Egg Reverie Zone, or Reverie. How do you even say that? From Sonic Mania. This one is really good. You'll alternate from attacking Eggman to attacking the Heavy King. Each one you'll need to hit around 8 times or so. The first thing I would like to mention is the music. The music is so good. If I haven't said it enough times, T. Lopes did an amazing job on the soundtrack for Sonic Mania. The second thing I'd like to mention is how cool the environment is, not to even mention the timer being all glitchy and messed up, which is just another really cool detail. This was my very first Super Sonic final boss that I've ever played, and it's still such a great finale to a great game. Coming in at number 12 is Giganto from Sonic Frontiers. Now, before any of you type in the comments that I ranked this boss too low, let me remind you that we still have a bunch of other great Super Sonic boss fights that I haven't even gotten to yet. After Sonic Generations in 2011, Sonic Team took a long break from using Super Sonic in any boss fights, and just had Sonic fight the final bosses in his base form. So besides Sonic Mania, Sonic Frontiers was the first time in 11 years that we got a Super Sonic boss fight, and boy was it a comeback. The fact that you can use so many different combos with beautiful animations to take down this Titan is just beautiful. My only issue with this fight is that sometimes it can feel a little janky, and the side loop is extremely hard to use too, but I guess that's why the quick side loop exists. Giganto is an easy S tier for me. The next Super Sonic boss fight at number 10 is Perfect Chaos from Sonic Adventure. Now the boss fight is pretty good. You'll need to charge toward Chaos and ram into him with enough speed. If you do this correctly, Sonic will hit Chaos in its brain. Doing this a few times will deplete Perfect Chaos's health, but after that it'll rise back up in one last effort to stop you. Rinse and repeat the first phase and this final boss would be pretty easy, and that's probably my biggest problem with it. It's not a huge issue, but it's a little annoying how easy this boss is. I mean, even if you get hit a bunch of times, it's not even that punishing. It's It's also kind of annoying how Open Your Heart only plays for like the first phase, then fades out when you get to the second phase. It's pretty anticlimactic in my opinion. This is still an awesome boss regardless. S tier it is again. The next supersonic final boss at number 10 is Perfect Dark Gaia from Sonic Unleashed, the Wii version. Now, like I said before, I think the Wii version is pretty much worse than the HD version of Sonic Unleashed in every way except for the final boss. This version's final boss is harder, but that's what I like about it. You have to dodge Dark Gaia's claw attacks. I really only have one issue with this one, and it's the fact that Supersonic can take damage. Supersonic, in my opinion, should never be able to take damage. I don't hate it, but it really undermines Supersonic's power, but it's not a huge issue. Also, like I said before, I'm only referring to the Supersonic part of this boss, and not including the first phase. All things considered, this was a great final boss, even if I was trash at it the first time playing it. Devil Doom from Shadow the Generations. Devil Doom from Shadow Generations is the next final boss at number 9. I think they were wanting to make a Super Shadow boss fight here, but since it wouldn't make sense for Shadow to have the Chaos Emeralds here, they just gave him Doom Wings to use here instead to fight Black Doom with. Besides that, this fight is really good. The QTEs and visuals are stunning, even the gameplay itself is awesome. Plus the Black Doom and All Hail Shadow remixes, bangers. If in the next games they can make like Sonic Frontiers Titan bosses with Shadow Generations quality and graphics, dude, that would be wild. Anyway, Devil Doom from Shadow Gens is another easy S tier. Number 8 is Knight from Sonic Frontiers. Knight Titan, the Titan Knight, well, I don't even know. Whatever his name is pure cinematography. This boss is so cool, with riding on a spinning saw blade with style, spin kicking Knight to the ground with a strong drop kick, or even taking a giant sword and slashing Knight right down the middle with it. This boss does not disappoint in any way. Well, maybe one way. My only issue with it was trying to predict where Knight is going to go when throwing his saw blade. It's still pretty cool to hit, but it can be tedious if you can't land the hit. Same with trying to move on the saw blade, that can be pretty annoying as well, but other than that, this boss was awesome. Easily another S tier boss in my opinion. Wyvern from Sonic Frontiers is next, and it's my favorite Titan boss in the game. Wait a minute, I think I forgot Supreme. Oh well, Supreme's like a tier, I'd say. It's good, but yeah. Anyway, after collecting the Magenta Chaos Emerald once again, you'll transform into Supersonic again, and begin chasing down the Wyvern. I just love the feeling of chasing down Wyvern and deflecting its missiles right back at him. Timing your parries was also really satisfying to do once you got the hang of it. Plus you get even more cinematic cutscenes and quick time events, which just adds even more epicness to the fight. I love this boss so much, it's awesome. Easy S tier once more. We are now moving on to the last and best tier, the SS tier. Final bosses that I believe to be the best in the entire series and are near perfection. Sonic and Shadow both transform into their super forms to stop the Biolizard and the Space Colony Ark from crashing into the Earth. This boss is just epic. This finale is equipped with awesome dialogue, a great setting in space, and Live and Learn playing in the background is just so awesome. The fight itself could be better gameplay-wise, but I think overall it's an 8 out of 10 in my opinion. Definitely one of the best finales in the series ever. SS tier.
You would not understand, nor could you understand. That's why I must do what I must do. I am finished with you.
What good is a world that goes on forever? That sounds pretty lame.
At number 5 is Dark Queen from Sonic and the Black Knight. Merlina transforms into the Dark Queen and plans to end the world, but by using the power of the 3 sacred swords, Sonic transforms into Excalibur Sonic to stop Merlina for good. Dark Queen may be pretty easy and a little short, but that's literally the only thing wrong with it. Everything else about it is so cool, and the only time ever we get to see Excalibur Sonic. Other than some mobile games, of course. The gameplay itself here is really good. The dialogue is really well written as well. The music is a banger as always. And the best part, Sonic's looking as cool as ever. Black Knight is very underrated and definitely deserves more attention, especially the final boss. SS tier.
Long time no see, Sonic. My lonesome copy.
Metal Overlord is one of my favorite bosses in the series, hence it being in the SS tier. The road to get to this final boss may be long, but the reward is definitely worth it. The music and atmosphere are awesome, plus Metal Sonic is already one of my favorite Sonic villains, so seeing him as an ultimate showdown was so cool. Almost everything about this finale was great. I just wish Super Knuckles and Super Tails could have been used here. That would have easily contested to be the best final boss in the series if that were true, but sadly they got stuck with just having some yellow shields. One other small thing, I really wish the music didn't fade out when using Team Blast. It's really annoying having this happen every time Team Blast is activated, but despite these two issues, this final boss is near perfection and is one of my favorites. Metal Overlord is an easy SS tier.
Is it over? No, it's not over yet. I guess it's not gonna be that easy.
Say what you want about 06 being bad or whatever, I still think you're just bad at the game. But you can't deny that this final boss is so epic. Playing as Super Sonic, Super Shadow, and Super Silver was so cool. And this is the only time ever that Super Silver has been seen in the games, not counting the mobile games again. The three main hedgehogs go to take down the super dimensional being known as Solaris. Since Solaris exists in the past, present, and future, Sonic, Shadow, and Silver each head to a different point in time to destroy it. Everything about this final boss is good. Gameplay's great, music is top tier, dialogue is awesome, and I honestly don't hate anything about it. It's awesome. The only reason it's not higher is simply because I think the next two are better.
The stories of this world are mine!
If this is your world, then it's a world that I don't want any part of.
Sonic collects all 7 world rings only to have a Razor Jin use them to transform into practically a god. With 3 of the world rings falling down and Sonic absorbing their power, Sonic transforms into one of my favorite Sonic forms of all time, Darkspine Sonic, to take down Alflayla Walela. That's a mouthful. Now having this at the number 2 spot might come as a surprise to a lot of people, but only the people who have ever fought this final boss will know the adrenaline rush you get when fighting it. Not only does it look epic, it literally feels epic. Once again, there's not a single thing I hate about this fight. Since you use a Wii remote, you'll need to shake it a ton for this final boss, and boy is it a workout to say the least. Even the cutscene after the fight is one of my favorites.
I cannot be denied by that filthy rat! Why?
I told you, I'm not a rat. I'm a hedgehog.
Every aspect of this fight is amazing. It was really hard for me to not pick this one as my favorite, but I think I've made the right choice for the best supersonic boss fight. Sonic uses the power of the Chaos Emeralds, and soon a new power given by the Master Coco, to let Sonic transform into his awesome new form. Super Sonic 2. No, that's a terrible name. Let's go with Starfall Supersonic. You know it, you love it. The Supreme End is mine and a lot of other people's favorite final boss in the series. I so badly wanted to pick the Secret Rings final boss, but I can't deny that this one is just the best. The music, the atmosphere, the moon in the back, the visuals, the 2 new super forms, the camera angles, the epic poses, the quick time events. Oh, it's all just peak. Learning that you need a quick step to disconnect the tube from Supreme was a little annoying to figure out at first, and learning to side loop Supreme's rifle. But once you know that, it doesn't even matter. But oh boy, once you transform into Cyber Supersonic, Then things are about to get crazy. Eggman fires Sonic into Supreme, which you plow through instantly. Then, with letting out one last yell, Sonic punches straight through the end and saves the day once more. Easily the best supersonic boss fight in the series for me. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, every supersonic boss fight ranked from worst to best. But what are your favorite final bosses? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you all for watching this video and making it to the end. Appreciate you all. I'll see you guys next time.